Hello you lovely people and welcome. In this video I'll be reviewing the night vision for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now to get this to work you're going to need to download a program called Reshade. Unfortunately this is for PC users only, Xbox users. Hopefully one day you'll be able to do this sort of thing, but until now it's purely for the PC, so I'm sorry about that. So as you can see we're on a program called Reshade, reshade.me. What you want to do is download that. Download Reshade 5.5. Okay. We'll click on that. Close it. Now it will ask you to select a game or an application. Now the one we have in mind doesn't appear on here, so we click on Browse. Now you're going to go to wherever your flight simulator is installed to. So with mine I have its own hard drive, everything is installed into there. I'm not 100% sure where it installs by default, but what you need to do is find the Microsoft Flight Simulator folder, go into Content, scroll down, click on the Game Launcher helper, open. Next it'll ask you what you want to use. I've always gone in with DirectX 10, 11, 12, but other people who know what they're doing can obviously select the other ones. Click Next. I've already got it installed, but I'll go through the process anyway. So I'll go to Modify, and then it will select pre-install, and it should go to wherever your content folder is in your Microsoft Flight Simulator. Click that, and what we want to do is click all of these, select them all, because this is what Reshade is going to draw off of, and next. Click all of these. Now you can include CAS if you want, I've got that unchecked. Click Next, Next again, and it will download all the effects that you'll need for whatever Reshade you're going to use Reshade for. I mean, I use it for DCS as well, but that's just to sharpen up the image, because I feel there's a slight blur on there. I can give you an example of that. Okay, and we're just going to accept all of these and let it download everything. Like I say, if you know what you're doing with Reshade, you don't need to worry about this bit. You'll know what you'll need. Okay, so it's done. Click Finish, and now once you start Microsoft Flight Simulator, you will get a notification that will scroll across the top that will install everything that you want in your flight sim. It won't disturb anything in the sim unless you activate. There you go. So we've got home overlay. So if you push home on the keyboard, this is our activator panel for doing night vision. Now you are going to have to install a couple of files to get night vision in. These are pre-made. You can mess about with them, but I've found that they work very well, as you'll see in the videos coming up. White phosphorus not so much, doesn't really float my boat, but I will give an example of that so that you can see, choose between the two. Comes with a FLIR setup as well, but I've never actually been able to get that to show anything. It doesn't look any different, so if you ignore the FLIR INI there. Just waiting for Flight Sim to load, which takes forever on my machine, so I'll speed it up from here. Okay, so we are now loaded up. Now you can get this to work straight off the bat. So if I click, I'm going to click night vision green, let it load in all its bits and pieces. Takes a while on the first time, but I assure you that once everything's been compiled, it will. There we go. Now we've got night vision. Now it can go into green, or like I said before, we can scroll down and go for phosphorus. As you can see, there's not much difference, but once you get into the sim, you can see how it changes it all. But we'll go back to green. Now we're going to need to go over to settings and select toggle key. I've set mine to end, so if I click on it, click end, see it goes out of night vision. If I press end again, straight in. So there's no having to load a separate bit of software alongside the sim, so it's just a matter of just pushing the key and you've got night vision. So yeah, as long as you've got all that set up, the settings, and then now I'll show you where you need to put the .ini files that we're going to download now. Right, so we're going to come over to FlightSim.2 or TO, however you want to pronounce it. This is the file we're going to want to download, but to find it I just simply put night vision. If you leave it, you'll see that you get different versions. A more realistic night vision, it's questionable, but this is the one that I've found that's been the most helpful. With these ones, you can get an overlay where it just shows a tiny circle. It's good. It's a nice little feature, but you can't see anything beyond that. So whereas you'd have a monocle on, you'd be able to see the night vision in real life. Yes, you would be able to see that, but you'd also be able to see what's going on in this part in your peripherals, and if you were to focus on something outside of the monocle. Unfortunately, it's just black, so I've gone against that. So you want to click your night vision for FLIR, and it'll bring you to this page. Okay, you click your download now. As you can see, it gives examples. Their white phosphorus seems a little bit different to what I can actually see, and there you see it gives an example of the FLIR. Again, I'm not sure what that's about, but you get 3 files. You get the white phosphorus, traditional green, and FLIR, and then it gives you the instructions if you don't want night vision to load straight away as soon as Flight Sim loads, which happens. It will load automatically, but you can delay that until you're ready to use it, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So download the night vision. We've got night vision here. We're going to click that to open it, or go into your download file, and then we've got our 3 little reshader files here. So if I just bring up, get out downloads here, you can see this download into your download folder. Now we're going to go into where the reshader has gone into, so into the Microsoft here, content. As you can see, just so you know that it's installed correctly, apart from it working, we'll have a Reshade text document configuration folder, a file as well, and it'll also come with some inis of its own. But like I say, we've got our own here. So if we go to M for MSFS, so we've got MVG white, MVG green, and then we've got this version here. Let me just find them just to prove that I've dragged them in. Here we go, FLIR, MVG green, MVG white phosphorus. So basically laying it into your main folder. So you drag those across in here, and and there they are. And once that has happened, we want to go to if you don't want the night vision to load up straight away, we go to Reshade configuration, and as you can see we have no reload on initial, so we'll change that to 0 if we don't want it, which it will be automatically, or we'll change it to 1 to make sure that it doesn't. I'm not sure if that's actually going to work this time because I've just reinstalled it. So that's pretty much it. Drag your ini files across into the content folder inside your Microsoft Flight Simulator folder, wherever you have installed that to, and then double click into your Reshade, come down into General, no reload on init if you don't want it to load straight away on your load up. If it does, just press your whatever key you've assigned to toggle it, and it will come straight off anyway. But yeah, that's how you can stop it from loading up on initial load up. Sorry if you heard that, it's my dog snoring. So I'm going to load up the game again, and we will see if it does as it's told. So let's double click to see what happens. Again, if it runs too slow, I will speed it up just to save time on the video. And it hasn't loaded up straight away because I changed the setting in the Reshade configuration file. So there we go, it's loading up. Okay, now when loaded up, as I said, if I press end, home, sorry, and go into settings, make sure that you've got end as a toggle key, and then I'm going to go into home, click reload that, and then up here is where we'll find our FLIR, MVG green, MVG white, and so if I select that, it will load in the settings for that, and if I load in the MVG green, select that and press end, there we go, we've got the on and off for the night vision. Now when it comes to aircraft, just get rid of this, press home. Home is always if you want to get into the Reshade, so unless you change it, of course, and that can all be done, like I say, in settings, just above where the effect toggle is. With aircraft, it will work. Obviously, it will work with anything because it's just an overlay or just a change of colour. It won't work the same as proper night vision will. It does pick up ambient light and reflections of light and things like that, and it is enhanced in this mode, but it will not work exactly as it would in real world night vision goggles, so don't expect anything spectacular, but this is as close as we're going to get in Microsoft Flight Simulator to my knowledge. It's a fantastic little add-on, and as you'll see in the videos coming up, it just shows you just how good it is in different weather environments, with rain, overcast, if it's clear, if there's moonlight and things like that, you'll see differences. Yeah, it's just a try it, test and try yourself. You like I say, you can go into the options in the Reshader and just make little tweaks and things like that if you know what you're doing. If you're not satisfied, or you can even go in and make your own version, but these are the best ones I've found on Flight Sim 2 so far. So as I say with aircraft, as long as you can get inside the cockpit and dim everything as much as you can without switching it off, you're good to go. Dial the HUDs right down, dial the MFDs right down. If you can get away with having no flood lighting without turning on the damn flashlight, do it. That's the only issue I have with this, and I don't know how to turn the flashlight off to make it completely dark in there, because it would be nice to just turn the floods right off and just go in and not have that intense light in night vision mode burning brightly around your peripherals when you're trying to figure out where you're going and looking outside the cockpit, because it does mess around with the vision in sim. So I've chatted on long enough, shown you how to install it, where to download it, and I'll show you some examples in certain aircraft now. And by the way, they'll just be military aircraft. It'll obviously work with GA aircraft if you really want to use it for that. Like I say, as long as you're dialing down and dimming down the internal lighting, you're good. So with that, let's get on to the videos. So for this video, I'm using the DC Designs F15E Strike Eagle, and we're off the coast of Kings Lynn, Holbeach area, looking for targets on the Holbeach range. Now, as you can see, it's clear weather, so there's a lot of ambient light as well as the artificial light from things that are surrounding the area. Got all my lighting inside the cockpit dialed right down, and the HUD's nice and dim, so we can see outside the cockpit no problem. As you can see, we are coming up to the range now, and there's the targets. And as you can see, the 3 targets on the range there, for comparison in daylight. Now for a bit of comparison, we are on the Cape Wrath bombing range up at the tip of Scotland. The only difference this time is that the targets have flares. As you can see, they're all lit up over there. So we're in clear weather, so there's lots of ambient light as well as artificial light. All the lights are down in the cockpit. We're still in the F15E Strike Eagle. So as we come down, as you can see the range properly anyway. It's just down there. You can see the little different colours of the different patches of Earth down there. Just off the coast here, we've got a little target boat. By the way, this is scenery that's available on FlightSim.2. So if you write in Cape Wrath, you'll find this range on there. So there's our first target of the boat. We've got tanks, a convoy, and we've also got a set of SAMs just down there. So that's in clear light. This time switched it up a bit and changed the weather to overcast, so we're going to turn in on the range now and just show you the differences of areas around the targets. As you can see, we're still up in the cloud slightly, and the altitude down once we start turning in. just having a quick look around the cockpit. As you can see, we get little glints of light from certain parts of the cockpit where the light might be a bit too bright. As you can see, we've got the nice little like lens flares and things like that, so it adds a tiny little bit of realism. So we're turning on the range now. It's cloudy, so ambient light not so great. There's our boat target down there, along with some tanks, and again coming up to the convoy and SAMs, but the surrounding areas are a lot darker. For this next one, I'm using the CGA Simulations Eurofighter Typhoon. As you can see, everything in the cockpit has all been dialed down, very NVG friendly. HUD, MFDs, everything is all dialed down to minimum, and you can see outside a lot better. The weather is set for cloudy, broken or scattered, and I'm currently on my way into RAF Coningsby with the use of ILS, but the landing will be totally manual. As you can see, I can't see the airfield, and yeah, this just switched it up a bit, give me something different to look at, change the dynamic of the flight. Obviously you wouldn't use these in a normal landing situation with plenty of lighting, but I thought I'd give it a shot anyway. Finally breaking through the cloud, and as you can see, the end of the runway. So I've got visual as well as ILS help there, and I'm picking up all the lighting from the airfield there as well. So it just enhances that a little bit for anyone who finds it a little bit too dark in normal, normal Mark 1 eyeball. This can help you a lot with night landings. Obviously not in areas where it's too bright, but yeah, just gives that little bit extra. On glide slope at the moment, but as you can see, it's quite fun to do it in this setup. Coming just below glide slope now, although it's nicely trimmed out and no issues bringing that in whatsoever. Up next we have the Top Mac Studios F2020. As you can see, very NVG friendly, everything's dialed right down. I can see what's going on outside the cockpit quite nicely. Getting things like lens flare and the obvious little reflections from lights that maybe just be a little bit too bright, whether it be inside the cockpit or out. It's a great add-on. It enhances everything in the nighttime environment, and especially when the weather's not 100%, you can pick out things that you wouldn't necessarily see without it on. Just looking around, it's like the light reflections, night pollution, it's just everything is just, it looks really pretty to be honest. I really like it. Miltech Simulations really could learn a thing or two as well. The situation inside the cockpit is just a bit too bright. Most of the stuff you can dial down, but the MFDs, they're either daytime, nighttime or off, and the nighttime just doesn't seem to be enough. so it can be a bit blinding trying to fly that, although I will say now that they've updated the textures on the inside of the aircraft on in regards to reflections on the windows. You can actually see out of them now, you couldn't previously with the night vision on. So yeah, it's nice to be able to fly the special operations aircraft nighttime with NVGs on. And I'm just bringing the MV22 down on runway 01 at RF Marham. From this end, or from this side of the airfield, it's not so bright. And finally, the SC Designs F-16C Fighting Falcon. Now, I've dialed everything down in the cockpit. Again, everything's NVG nighttime user friendly, and I'm using the white phosphorus setting for this one. Yeah, so you can see there's quite a contrast here in comparison to the green version, where you can, well, just everything is different shades of green. With this one, you've actually got different shades of colour as well. So this is in clear skies, so we can see a very, very long distance where there's nothing in the way, lots of stars, lots of artificial lighting, as we are just off Hill Air Force Base. Now I'm just going to cross the lake here and just come away from the artificial lighting and show you the ambient lighting on the road that's crossing the lake here onto the island in front of us. I've now changed it to overcast, and you can see that there is quite a change in the lighting effect around me, mainly with the water reflections. You can't see the lake as much as you could. Heading back towards Ogden or Hill Air Force Base, and the road is there. You just about make it. But yeah, we're heading back, and you can see all the light pollution on the clouds and things like that. So it's working in white phosphorus as well. I prefer the green, but some people prefer the white phosphorus because you can see other colours. It's a bit more easy on the eye as well, not so alienated as it would be with the green. So this, yeah, as I say, this is with overcast. And then I thought I'd really switch it up and change the weather to rain. So as you can see, as we drop down through the cloud, the lighting effects in white phosphorus, it just looks like you're going to hit a wall with everything. So the lighting effects are good there, especially a lot better than it would be if you were just flying with Mark 1 eyeball in any normal situation. I know I'm dangerously low, but at least I can see what I'm doing. And I'm trying to head back towards Hill Air Force Base. I do find it eventually, and it's just up here ahead of me. But as you can see, all the artificial are lighting up there now and getting lots of lens flares and reflections in the night vision, as if I was wearing proper goggles, which I think is just brilliant. I'm definitely keeping this. I mean, it's a free mod, it's a free Reshade, and there's Hill Air Force Base. And what is there not to like about it? it enhances the night flying. It gives you an option which isn't there with anything else, and as good as we're going to get with Flight Simulator for the time being. So yeah, like I say, you've got the option of white phosphorus or the traditional green, and I've shown you how to install the reshader. I mean, I know all it is at the end of the day is just changing the colours of the game, but at the end of the day, isn't that what night vision goggles do anyway? Anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, if you've got something from it, and yeah, I'll close here. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.